this is a way to spend a Sunday. Okay. Well, good morning to you all. I am headed out of Fredericksburg area. Met up with a really great guy here in the hill country that wants to share his land and his ranch with us for putting on a very large event. He's hoping to turn it into Texas-wide, you know, a full statewide, maybe regional yearly event, an annual event down here for all of the three-wheel community. So Rikers, Spiders, anybody, Polaris Slingshots, you name it. Any kind of three-wheel community. Hell, bring two wheels if you can't find your third one, if you lost it somewhere. And we're going to brainstorm up some good ideas for this, and maybe have an early meetup for a handful of us to come out and do some brainstorming and spitballing on what we can turn it into later this year, November-ish, for the first little tentative meet. And then maybe shoot for spring of 22, something like that, to get a bigger gathering out here, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to stop here for a moment and plug in my route home, and just kind of take the back roads, and I might stop off and do another night of moto camping. I didn't camp last night because he wouldn't let me. He absolutely insisted that I come inside and stay in his house, and I couldn't say no. He's such a good guy. I was fully planning on sleeping outdoors with all of his various wildlife and animals that he has. He's got a lot of cats. He's got a fox that's semi-domesticated, comes to eat all the time on his back porch. He's got a lot of deer, a lot of raccoons. So we've got some pictures of a whole family of raccoons, 5, 6 of them, that come up every night and patronize his back porch for food and all that. He's got a heck of a thing out here going on. So anyway, I'm going to get set up here and figure out which way I'm going home from the edge of the hill country here back toward Katy, and maybe find a good state park on the way. Okay, so coming down 290 there, I passed a sign. I couldn't catch out of the corner of my eye what it said right off, but it was a state park sign, and it said something state park 10 miles this way. So I turned off on this little side road. I'm going to go 10 miles down here and see what this is. I know I certainly have not been here before, so get a little Sunday back road discovery ride on the scooter here. I'm still in the Fredericksburg area. I don't know if I'm still in Fredericksburg proper as far as the city limits, but I'm pretty close to it. And whatever this little park road thing is here, I'm just going to go check it out. Looks like I might get wet today, though. Been noticing some pretty thick, heavy storm clouds here and there. I think the rain chances were 30% today. Later in the day, getting more toward Houston, I think the rain chances were higher. It was up around 50% today, so I'm very likely going to be getting wet on the way in going home. But hey, while I'm out here, you saw that squiggly 20-mile-an-hour sign. While I'm out here and it's still dry, I'm going to have a little bit of fun. Just lowering. Nice twisty little road. It's not real smooth. It's got quite a few ripples in it, but still a good motorcycle road. I don't know if this goes through anywhere or if this is just a 10-mile road that stubs out into a park. We're going to find out. Google's telling me in my ear, 1,000 feet, keep left. Yeah, I think so. Because going straight might hurt just a little bit. Keep left. Yeah, really? You think? So this is Old San Antonio Road that I'm on. Lukenbach Cane City Road, something like that. It's 1.8 miles. So if this is old San Antonio Road, I would assume that this goes through to somewhere. Got a bunch of bikes. Yeah, it must be a good road. Check it out. Whole motorcycle group there, sport bike group. Queued up behind the truck that was going slow. Let's say and turn left, half a mile. I'm going to keep on going because it said 10 miles to whatever that park was. So I'm going 10 miles. After that, I'll figure out whether I'm backtracking or continuing on. Should have brought my paper maps with me. I've got some Butler maps, G2 maps for the Twisted Sisters Hill Country area out here. Nope, not turning. I ain't doing it. It's like a decent road, but I ain't doing it. Not yet. Okay, so there's a ranch market, 473 up here, Google is saying. And a few miles, so maybe that's close to where the junction is going to be. Texas is full of these little farm to market, ranch to market roads, and I'm getting rained on. Haha, knew it was going to happen. I'm getting sprinkled. Ah, I love that smell. Love that smell. Fresh rain in the air. Ionized smell. I love it. I'll take it easy on these roads, though. I don't know how snotty they're going to be as they start getting wet. And I realized this morning when I went digging in my wallet that I left my Texas State Parks Pass at home on the desk. I usually keep that in my wallet, but I had swapped it out for my National Parks Pass card when I did the Cannonball Run and forgot to re-swap it. Try not to carry any extra cards in there, keep it thin and light, but oh well. If I decide to go to one of the parks today and hang out, I'll just pay the entry fee. If you have a Texas Parks Pass, you don't pay anything. Well, you're paying for the pass, obviously, but you don't pay the day fees. And at most of the parks, you can camp overnight for free. Some of them that have facilities like electric and water, you do have to pay for. But it's like half price. It's very reduced. So if you do any camping or you'd like to go out and visit the state parks, it's very worthwhile to invest in one of those standard passes. Hello, dear. Oh, dear. Don't go hitting the brakes for him on wet pavement. Or her. I didn't notice horns or no horns. All I saw was deer, and I'm trying to not lock up the front tire. This bike does not have ABS. The pavement is slippery, by the way. When I hit the brakes, the front wheel went whoop. Getting wet. But it's just a shower, so I'm not even going to bother with the rain here. Bar. Hey, all right. So this is, yeah, it's like a motorcycle hangout. Cool. Never been here. Don't know what this is. Cool. Oh, that cold rain feels good. It's going right through this mesh. Yeah, all these tar patches on this road are slippery. Definitely not a road to hoon around on when it's wet. Yeah, they got more truck wire in there. This is a way to spend a Sunday. Road may flood. That always gives me a chuckle, man. You see these roads and you don't feel like you're down low. You end up in these low spots and they got flood gauges and stuff. Especially up here in the hill country. You wouldn't think that it would flood, but the way the terrain all funnels in, man, you get these low spots and they end up being raging rapids immediately during thunderstorms, and then they drain out and there's nothing. It's back to dry. No range anxiety with this scooter. 200-mile range in this tank. That's one thing about the little Super Cub. I love taking it out on the back roads like this, but you have to carry extra fuel. Because the 1-gallon tank, you know, by the time you leave civilization and get out on these ranch roads and all that, you could be 85 miles or so away from a fuel station. And when you've only got 110 mile roughly, depends on your speed, but around 100 to 110 miles before you've got to really start sweating the fuel stop. You get some range anxiety going on there. This is a nice road. I like this. PCX though, 2.1 gallon tank, gets 120-ish, 130 plus at these speeds. The Super Cub is up around 145 miles to the gallon at these speeds. But smaller tank capacity. And this one will easily get 200 miles of rural back road riding like this before you give it a drink. Oh, this is a nice fun little road. I like this. I'll have to remember this. I'm tracking the logs on the GPS so I know where I'm at. C8. Old Tunnel State Park. Okay, so this is the park. And this is a dangerous little left-hand turn here. Okay. Old Tunnel State Park. Let's take a look, shall we? Overflow parking across Alamo Road. Well, I am technically in the no parking here, but I'm going to park because I'm a scooter. No pets, no alcohol, no smoking, okay? The fences look new. They set this up for traffic control, containment, something. You can tell it's a temporary thing. Wonder why they did that. Oh, nice overlook. Oh, I gotta go back to the bike and get the phone, take some pictures of this. I got restrooms. Constructed for trains. And now it's a home to bats. I'll bet that's interesting. Oops, I guess I should check my lens, eh? Am I still recording? Yeah, it's still flashing. Bats are insect eaters. Yes, they are. They're one of the best mosquito hunters out there, besides purple martins. Emerge from the tunnel each night. 7:41. I'm not going to be here that late. There's another little observation area down there. You can see some benches. So somewhere down here, I guess it's the tunnel. That's a nice overlook. Got another observation tower out there. You probably can't catch that on camera. It's looks like a big tree house out there. Yeah, this is nice. Okay then. I'm going to get the phone off the bike, take a picture, and continue on about my way before the rest of the thunderstorm rolls in. Well, not thunderstorm, but rainstorm. So it looks like they had some kind of little park office here that's closed. Moderate fire danger rating today. Alamo Springs Cafe. Oh, look, they got a cafe here. Oh, they're busy too. Wow. Wonder why I saw cars coming back and forth on this road. Now I know why.
In a quarter of a mile, turn right on Joe West Road.
Well, I'm not hungry, but this would be neat to stop in sometime. Alamo Springs Cafe. This would be a good bike hangout right here. Probably is. I just don't know it. All right, cool. So this is a dead-end road. I passed a little sign that said no outlet, so Alamo Springs. But let's go down here and see where it dead ends and turn around and continue on about my path. Is that a residence? Yeah, somebody lives out here. Huh. Yeah, mailboxes. People live on this. That's awesome. Turn right on Joe West Road, so that goes out somewhere. I don't think I like that road. Yeah, people live back here. Well, the road says no outlet, so... And I'm headed into the rain here. I'm starting to get wet again. Maybe it's time to turn around. Man, this reminds me of my early teens when I first got my motorcycle license at 14 years old in Oklahoma. You get a motorcycle license there at 14 because it was still a very rural environment, you know, agricultural state. So, and as soon as kids, mostly boys, you know, the young boys, when they'd get to be 14, as long as the parents didn't mind it and you had enough money to go buy a street legal motorcycle, man, it's the first thing you did was get a motorcycle license. And you were limited to 125 cc's. You could not ride on the highways. You could not ride after dark. You couldn't leave the state, obviously. You couldn't do a lot of things. It was pretty restricted, but it was freedom, man. It was freedom. You had your own wheels. You could go where you wanted and you didn't have to pedal. So yeah, I got my motorcycle license when I was 14, and I saved up all my pennies, all my money from lawn mowing and house cleaning and trading in glass bottles and doing all kinds of stuff, and bought a brand new 1984 Honda XL 125S, street legal enduro. And I rode the wheels off of that thing. In the first 2 years, I put over 35,000 miles on that thing. And this is what I would do right here. Just go, just ride. Didn't matter where I was going, just ride. Gas was cheap. That bike was stupid efficient, like 85 miles to the gallon or something. I don't even remember. Back then, I didn't really care about fuel economy. It was range that I would gauge. Oh, running out of road here. Where am I going? It says turn right on Deer Road. Ooh, that's twisty. I'll have to look at that. Anyway, I would take road trips on that thing anywhere, anytime, any way I could go. Off-road, preferred moto camping, you know, find places to go and just disappear. But one of my favorite things to do, if I wasn't moto camping or whatever, is go out and intentionally try to get lost. Just go find somewhere. Hey, you got another deer. A little doe. Just go out and try to get lost. And I would succeed sometimes. Get totally lost, like, oh crap, I have no idea where I am. And then I just start riding in one direction, keep going that direction as long as I can, and hope that I find a gas station or some kind of civilization and ask, where am I? And I would stop at the tourist information centers whenever you'd find those on the highway and pick up free maps, always free maps. Anything that's printed by the government and the tax dollars that you can get for free, get it. And throw that in a backpack, or you know, I had a little duffel bag that I would bungee to my back seat. It wasn't waterproof, of course, but we threw things in plastic bags to keep them waterproof. Okay, I think I am going to turn around now because this road is getting thinner. Yeah, I'm just getting wet. So anyway, yeah. Just go wandering. Burning gas, but cheap gas. The only thing that got a little bit expensive about that little Honda 125 that I had, mainly because of my riding habits and all the crazy crap that I did and as many miles as I put on that thing, is back then tire technology was not nearly as good as it is now. And nobody was really putting street tires on those bikes, you know, motard style, that early in the game. People were doing street tires, but it was more on the race bikes, on your YZs and CRs and stuff like that, your two-stroke race bikes, and you go out and hoon those things around on go-kart tracks. But for the street bikes, the enduros, you would still be stuck with the knobbies, and those knobbies did not last very long on highways. I think I would usually get about maybe 4,000 miles out of my rear tires. The front tires would last, 10, 12,000 miles easy. But I was always changing the rear tires, and getting flats was a pretty common thing because tubes weren't as good back then as they are now. They're pretty, tire construction in general, they weren't as tough. They didn't have the aramid fiber and all that stuff in there to kind of help thorn-proof and nail-proof your tires. Of course, they're tube type, but anyway, long story short, the only thing that got a little expensive about those was replacing back tires all the time. But otherwise, just dead simple, stupid, simple to operate, stupid cheap. Put gas in it, change the oil every 1,500 to 2,000 miles. Ride the wheels off it. And I did. Okay, well, continuing on. This is a neat little road. I like this twisty, turny, a lot of elevation changes, hills and little gentle switchbacks. Nothing brutal yet. But there's a lot of fading corners and stuff, so stay on your toes. Of course, I'm just puttering along at 40 miles an hour, which is the speed limit, but I guarantee you on sport bikes and faster machines, hell, even on the rally, the Riker rally, it'd be fun to rip it through here. That'd be fun. Gotta stay on your toes, though. All these little twists and turns, they'll go down and fade left or right real suddenly. If you're not paying attention, you might end up eating some weeds. It's been a very long time since I've made a critical error on the road, on the old back roads, goofing around and not negotiating a corner correctly or whatever, and overcook and end up having to run off into the shoulder of the grass or whatever. I haven't done that in a very, very long time. But that happened to me twice on the Cannonball Run on the Cub, but it was on the gravel stuff when I really had very little control of what the bike was doing. Get into real soft gravel on the shoulder and washboard, and the whole bike is hopping. Neither wheel is in contact with the road, and every time you come down, it's pitching and changing, and you're just along for the ride at that point. So the only way to keep it upright when it does that is ride it out. Just keep going the same direction, decrease throttle, definitely don't hit your front brake, try to lock up the back if you can, and just maintain a trajectory. And I went off in the shoulder a few times in real deep gravel and sand and stuff, but I managed to keep the bike upright. It happened to Adrian a couple times too. I coached him. I said, look, if it's going off the road, don't try to steer out of it, because you'll definitely eat it. Just go off the road and slow down to a stop and correct and get yourself back up. Man, I like this out here. I'm gonna have to put this in my catalog of good roads. Glad I took the little detour. That's a nice ridge. Always got to watch for gravel on these corners too, because rains, it gets kicked up from these little side roads and from the drainage culverts, and you end up with a lot of marbles on the pavement. These are the ones you gotta watch. People come flying up around these corners. Cars, trucks especially, they don't stay in their lane. because they're worried about dipping off the side of the pavement. So they hug the line or go over the line on those fading corners. If you don't have line of sight through it, you just have to assume there is somebody coming to get you. Oh man, that is gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, wow. Hill blocks view, yeah, there's one of those. Dirty stair step. Ooh, yeah, it does. Look at that. Come on, go off the side of that. What I love about motorcycling, and particularly small bike touring and riding, is your speeds are lower. You're not in a hurry. You're not pushing the limits because you're on a big 100+ horsepower machine that's just raring to go and get you into trouble. I still enjoy those occasionally, but this, I don't know, I'm just getting old, I guess. I enjoy this more because this kind of road and these just random discoveries are so much more fun to do on a small bike where you're going slow than they are on a big bike, a fast bike, or a car. It's not as entertaining. With a small, slow bike that's nimble, like this little scoot, the PCX, or, you know, even up to mid-sized naked bikes, you know, 500, 600cc, 700s maybe. As long as you're not getting into the speed and horsepower game, this is absolute ear-to-ear grin. And I start getting cramps in my cheeks because I'm stupid grinning in my helmet for no reason at all. This is just such good fun. Low stress, still get your adrenaline up a couple times when you find these little fading corners that disappear and you're not sure which way they're going. Still running well within safety limits that you can clamp down your speed and stand it up, keep yourself on course without eating gravel. And what I do typically, I don't record those videos and share them with the world. That's my time. But what I do is I catalog these in my head. I find these interesting roads that are twisty and fun, good motorcycle roads with relatively low risk factor. And then I'll come back and I ride them on my faster bikes and get a little bit rambunctious. I'll come through here on my R1 or my Monster or something like that and tear ass a little bit. Get my heart rate up. Okay, well, my GoPro's acting up because it's hot as hell out here, and I was walking around trying to record in 4K over there at the Toonstone, whatever it is. Overheated and shut itself down, so kept complaining SD card, you know, bad SD card, or format failed, or one stupid ass error message or another. So I don't know how much of my footage I lost or got corrupted, but threw another card in there and continue on down the road. Oh, and stay moving, please. Oh my god, it's so hot. Temp is 98 degrees right now, and it's very humid because we've got a lot of clouds. And there's no cloud cover right here. It's hot. Hot, hot, hot. So I don't know if I'm repeating myself, but what I was saying back there at the Toonstone thing is if you don't take these little unknown rural roads, these rural highways, you'd never run into stuff like that. It's real Americana, or Texarkana, however you want to call it. It's just so cool to make discoveries like these things out in the middle of nowhere. Neat place. They got a little mock-up saloon there. I don't know if they really serve alcohol there. The bar kind of looked like it might have had beer taps, but I went inside and took a couple of pictures, and they had stuff behind the bar, like paperwork, and it looks like maybe they actually do serve alcohol there sometimes, but it wasn't like a bar with taps. It's mostly just a memorabilia kind of place. People sign their names on the walls and leave stickers, and there's tons of beer cans nailed up on the walls. First Coffee Hollow. Okay. And I'm headed back toward the rain over here, it looks like. Well, at this point I wouldn't mind, it's so hot. Get wet and cool off. Good roads out here, man. You can never appreciate the hello. She jumped up on me somewhere. Yeah, it is a bird. He's dead. You can't appreciate the elevation changes on these roads through the camera. It's pretty flat looking on the video footage, but these are some hills here. I've only seen one motorcycle on this road so far. I've seen more, but it's just my timing. Quite a few on that last highway that was on Old San Antonio Road. cruising along, effortless at 60, half throttle. Range to market 473 east toward US 281 south. Nice country route. So much better than taking 290 or I-10. Probably end up on 71 at some point, but even 71, it's 4-lane divided highway, big blacktop, everybody's hauling ass, 75 to 90. This is so much better. Gets you there just the same. Just a different route with a whole lot more scenery and a lot more fun to ride. I always go through these back highways, past these beautiful ranches, just gorgeous land. I always just want to stop in and say howdy to these people, but I wouldn't want to bother them, you know. I just want to go say hi and go, man, you've got that beautiful property. Would you mind if I just throw my hammock between a couple of your trees? I don't want to trespass. I don't want to leave any messes. I just want to hang out and look at this. Okay, well, I'm just winding my way around on the farm to market and ranch to market roads, and now I'm in San Marcos, Texas, outside of San Antonio. I can't say that I've ever been through here, at least not through this part of town, because nothing looks familiar. Downtown San Marcos. Need to find a fuel stop. Down to about 2 bars on here, which means I've got at least 50 or 60 miles left in it, but it's nowhere near enough to get me home. I'm still a couple hundred miles from home, I think. So stop off here in a little bit, fill this up. I'm getting 97.5 miles to the gallon average. Gotta love that. Get some fuel for the bike and a drink for me, because it is pretty hot today. I am sweating. I've got some water in the top box behind me, but it's not cold anymore. So I might grab a Gatorade or something like that. Probably wait until I get home to eat. See if maybe I can find a couple of iconic places to take some pictures around here and continue my journey. Okay, well, back to Katy. Trip was smooth and uneventful. Traffic was pretty light today. Got into some heavier stuff as I was on Highway 90, paralleling I-10. There's quite a bit of traffic. So I guess people coming back in town from the weekend, and I just found alternate routes and steered around them. I let Garmin do my adventurous routing, whatever it is, staying off the highways, and everything worked out great. So another 500 and something mile trip, about 540, 550, somewhere in that range, if I am tallying it correct in my head. PCX150 didn't skip a beat. Cruised along at 60, 65 on the highway the entire trip, no problems at all. Got up to 75, 78 a couple times downhill. And home again. So we had a good meeting out there in Fredericksburg, and we're going to see if we can turn that into an interesting gathering for everybody out there with Herschel's help. So that's all for me. I'm tired. My butt's doing pretty well on the Airhawk, but I'm ready to get off. It's been a 6-hour ride getting back home, so it's time to call her quits for the day. And I need to fix that curb. People keep hitting it and snagging it with their tires, I guess. I'll catch y'all later. Thanks for tacking along.